Hey, what's up everybody? I am going to tie a variation of the thread Frenchie. It's changed a few of the body materials, but this is just another color scheme that I have. I love the original one that Lance ties. I really like it because it's not only is a good imitator of little mayflies, but it's a great dropper. So I've got a whole box of them in my hopper box, or a whole row of them in my hopper box. Anyway, so I've been using this color variation with a fair bit of success, and then when we went to Argentina, it turned one of the days into a really great day. For whatever reason, the fish were not having anything to do with gold or silver beads, and I had been fishing my standard dropper patterns and doing okay, and I tried one of these holographic Frenchies, what I call it, with a different color bead. And this, you can kind of see a little bit, it's got some modeling on it. Anyway, the fish seemed to really agree, and I'm not sure exactly what it was, but I think the color combo of the bead and then the body being holographic kind of stands out, creates some interesting flashiness and contrast, I don't know. But it works really well. So this is very similar in the way you tie it, just gonna change up the colors a bit. And so we'll start off, this is a size 16. One change from the thread Frenchie is I'm going to actually use red, which is what the original Frenchie was tied with. But since I'm going to not use the thread for the body, this is not technically a thread Frenchie. And so I'll just work my way back to about there. And I'm going to grab my Coq de Leon. So we got 4 or 5 fibers there, and we're just going to make about the shank length on the body. About like that. Then, similar to the thread Frenchie, we're going to use small size Sculpin Olive, UTC. And I usually just make that go the body length. This is going to be pretty thin as it is. And then I'll just work my way up the body once here, and then back down where I secure this. Now for the body, I'm going to use some Perdigon tinsel. This is the black. It's number 30, and this is a great material. I like this color for PMDs and betas as well. Okay, we'll just tie this in. Just want to make sure it's right to the back there, and then work my thread forward. And you can use your thread to kind of fill in any gaps there so it's a smooth transition. That looks pretty decent. All right, so one thing I like to do just to give me a little bit more security is I like to take my hackle pliers and grab the end of the tinsel. And then if you hold you can use your bobbin cradle, which is great, or you can just hold your finger out there like that. And then we'll wrap this body all the way up, covering all the thread. Okay, now that we've got that, I'll come over here and grab my wire and just do a few spaced wraps up the body. And end that right at the thread. Then we'll just helicopter that off. Okay, so that's the body. And then what I'll do here is take a little bit of my Loon Fluorescing UV Clear, and this is what I will seal the body with. These flies, even with the UV, are not super durable, but we just add the UV resin in there to give it a little bit more of a durable finish. A couple of the days that I was fishing these really hard down in Argentina, I went through a number of them. So now that doesn't show the ribbing much, but if you use Lance's little trick, kind of takes the extra off, and then we're just going to cure that. Okay, so that gives it a little bit of durability. And now you can see that holographic bodies showing through there. I don't know, it's a great little pattern. Not sure why it worked so well compared to the other colored ones I was using, but it did. And now I've tied these in both UV dub, the ice dub UV pink, as well as UV shrimp pink. And I'm sure both would work equally nicely, but on these ones I was using the UV pink. And you don't need a ton of this, so I mean, we're talking just enough to kind of 1 finger width of wrapping. Maybe even that's too much, but I'd say 1 full wrap, maybe a half, just enough to dirty it. And then I'll come in here right behind it and then just give it a little bit of a red hot spot. And we just whip finish. And there it is. Again, it's just a variation of Lance's thread Frenchie, but in some holographic body and that cool bead. So we do have the holographic body, the tinsel, the Perdigone tinsel, and the brass bead on our store. The link is in below. You can click one button once you go to that link and adds everything to your shopping cart, and la-di-da, all this stuff will show up a few days later and you can tie this fly. Anyway, give it a whirl. It's a great pattern just for nymphing in general. I especially love it for dropper fishing.